Okay, so picture this. It's a Tuesday morning.
Right.
You wake up, you grab your phone. I mean, before you even had coffee, we all do it. And you check the news. The anchor is delivering a story, but she looks just a little too perfect.
Her blinking pattern is a bit off.
Exactly. And you realize, oh, she doesn't actually exist. She's a render.
Right. And then, okay, you check your email, and there's this incredibly detailed strategic directive from your boss.
Mm-hmm.
But you know for a fact your boss is completely off the grid
Mm.
in the Maldives. So you're basically taking orders from his digital twin.
Yeah, and then just to, really dial up the sci-fi dystopia vibes, you see an ad for a service that lets you video chat with a digital reconstruction of a relative who passed away 5 years ago.
It just sounds like a Black Mirror episode, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But for a lot of people, and, well, increasingly for everyone, that is just the new normal.
That's the phrase, the new normal. And I have to admit, usually that specific laundry list of AI stuff, it sends me into a doom-scrolling spiral. It's unsettling. You feel like the ground is just shifting under your feet every single day, and you don't know where to stand.
That reaction is completely understandable. I mean, biologically, we're wired to crave stability. We like linear progression.
We like things to make sense.
We like to know that tomorrow will look roughly like today. What you're describing is a fundamental, an exponential disruption of reality. It triggers that lizard brain fight or flight response.
Fight or flight is exactly what it feels like. Usually flight for me. But, and this is a big but, we are not here to panic today. We are not doing the tech doom hour.
No.
We're looking at a concept that I found incredibly refreshing, specifically because it acknowledges this chaos, but it refuses to be a victim of it. It's called solutionism.
Solutionism. It's a fantastic term. And to guide us through this, we're doing a deep dive into a really fascinating book. It's titled Survive the AI Apocalypse, a guide for solutionists.
It's by Bronwyn Williams, who's a futurist and economist, and Sharon Pearce, a business transformation specialist.
That's right.
And we've also pulled in some really sharp insights from a review of the book by Johan Steyn, just to round out the perspective. What I love about this source material is the attitude. It isn't, oh no, the robots are coming, run for the hills.
No, not at all.
It's more like, okay, the robots are here, the house is shaking now, what are you going to do about it?
Precisely. It's a survival guide, but, not for the end of the world.
Yeah.
It's a survival guide for people who refuse to be passive passengers.
I love that phrase you used.
The mission for this deep dive is really to figure out how we stop treating this chaos as a disaster and start treating it as raw material. How do we flip the script?
Passive passenger. That is exactly how it feels sometimes. Like you're just strapped into the backseat and the car's doing 100 miles an hour down a road you don't even recognize. But before we get to the how-to part, the solutionism, we have to deal with the elephant in the room. The title. Survive the AI Apocalypse.
Yeah.
You see the word apocalypse and you think zombies, fire, nuclear winter.
You do. It is such a loaded word. But this is where Williams and Pearce play a very clever linguistic game. They aren't using the modern, Hollywood blockbuster definition of apocalypse.
They're not.
They're actually going back to the original Greek etymology of the word.
Okay, let's unpack that, because I definitely thought end of times. What is the original meaning?
Originally, apocalypse has just meant an unveiling, a revealing.
Huh.
Literally the lifting of a veil to show what was hidden underneath.
An unveiling. That is surprisingly poetic and significantly less terrifying than zombies.
Well, it depends on what's being unveiled. The argument in the book is that AI isn't just destroying things randomly, it's ripping the curtain back.
On what?
It's revealing how fragile our assumptions have always been. Our assumptions about work, about where value comes from, and frankly, about our own privilege.
So it's not that the system is breaking, it's that we're finally seeing the system was never as solid as we thought it was. Like we were operating under this illusion of stability.
Precisely. And the thing that makes this unveiling so disorienting is just the velocity, the speed of it.
Right.
Think about the Industrial Revolution. That was a massive disruption. People moved from farms to factories. But it took decades. You had time to adjust.
Parents could tell their kids, hey, maybe don't become a weaver. Look at that steam engine over there.
Exactly. You could see the smokestack coming from a mile away.
Yeah.
You had a generational buffer to figure things out.
We don't have that.
We have no buffer. This revolution is happening in real time. It's happening in your browser, on your phone, in your pocket. The pace of change is apocalyptic in itself. And it's not just industrial. It's intimate.
That's a huge point the sources highlight. The Industrial Revolution changed factories. This is changing our minds, our relationships.
Yeah.
The book gives these wild examples of AI invading spaces we thought were purely human, like those AI companions we mentioned, or AI handling sensitive negotiations.
It just blurs the boundary of agency. When you interact with a customer service agent, or even a romantic partner online in some of these cases, are you dealing with a human or a machine?
And you can't tell.
That line is just dissolving. It's unveiling that perhaps what we thought was a human connection can be, well, simulated by math.
And that leads us directly to the concept that I think is the most provocative part of this book. I circled it in my notes 3 times. The privilege apocalypse.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the heavy hitter.
It sounds aggressive. The privilege apocalypse. What exactly are they getting at there?
It's a complete reversal of how we usually think about automation. Historically, technology came for the dangerous, the dirty, or the dull jobs
The
first.
blue-collar sector.
Right. But for a long time, if you were a white-collar worker, you felt safe. If you went to university, got the degree, learned the expensive skills, accounting, coding, legal analysis, copywriting, you were set. That was the social contract.
Yes, study hard, get the credentials, sit in a nice air-conditioned office. That was the definition of safety. That was the moat around your career.
And that is exactly what is being unveiled as fragile.
Mm.
The privilege apocalypse means that those high-status, expensive cognitive skills are often the easiest things for AI to replicate.
Wow.
The study hard for traditional credentials path is dissolving right in front of us. The moat is dry.
That is a tough pill to swallow. I mean, people spend years and tens of thousands of dollars on those credentials. It feels almost unfair.
It does.
Like, I did everything right. Why am I the one in danger?
What creates this massive tension, the book describes it as a clash between shrinking certainties and expanding choices.
Okay.
So on one hand, your job security is shrinking.
Huh?
The certainty that your law degree guarantees a 40-year career is gone. But on the other hand, the tools available to you, the markets you can reach, the ways you can work, those are expanding exponentially.
So it's terrifying, but it's also liberating. If you can get
Yeah.
over the ego hit of your degree mattering less.
If you engage with it, yes. But you have to engage. The reviewer, Johan Steyn, points out a really stark economic reality here. This is a winner-takes-most environment.
Winner takes most. That sounds like a power law distribution.
It is. In the old world, being average at a white-collar job was fine. You could make a decent living being a mediocre accountant.
Sure.
In an AI world, the AI is better than the mediocre accountant. So the value accrues to the top 1% who know how to wield the AI, and everyone else just falls off a cliff.
So failing to engage isn't a neutral choice. You can't just say, you know what, I'm going to sit this one out and keep doing things the 2019 way.
Exactly. If you don't engage with these tools, you aren't just standing still. You are actively falling behind. You are becoming obsolete in real time.
Okay, so we've established the stakes. The veil is lifted, the privilege is gone, and we can't hide. This brings us to the core mission of this deep dive then, the solutionist mindset.
Yes.
If the house is burning, how do we stop panicking and start building? How do we actually make that shift?
Well, the core shift is moving from defense to offense. Most people's first instinct is defensive, is how do I protect my job description? How do I build a wall around my tasks to keep the AI out?
Which, based on everything we just said, is a losing battle. The AI is a better wall climber than you are a wall builder.
Exactly. The solutionist asks different questions. They don't ask, how do I keep my job? They ask, what problems can I now solve that were impossible for me to solve before? It's a subtle but powerful shift. It's about treating AI as a lever that multiplies your force, not a replacement that subtracts your value.
I really liked the practical vibe of the book here. It's not just, high-level philosophy. The authors even mention tools, actual frameworks. They have this thing on their website they call the bullshitometer.
Yes. The bullshitometer. It's brilliant.
I love that name. It just cuts right through all the corporate jargon. What is it actually doing?
It's an audit tool, basically. It's designed to help you check your own readiness and the readiness of your organization. It forces you to ask, do we actually have a strategy or do we just have a subscription to ChatGPT?
Right.
It keeps it from feeling like some stuffy textbook. So it's like, okay, are you actually ready or are you just using buzzwords?
And speaking of buzzwords, that leads to a very specific trap they warn against. They call it shiny-itis.
Shiny-itis. I see this constantly in the corporate world.
I think I might have a mild case of that myself. Is that when you just download every new app because the demo looked cool on Twitter?
That's it. It's chasing every new AI tool without a clear value hypothesis. For business leaders, this is deadly. You see companies rushing to implement AI just to say they have AI.
We need Gen AI.
Why?
I don't know, our competitors have it.
Exactly. It's FOMO masquerading as strategy. And the authors make a really counterintuitive point here. There is a danger in automating too much.
Wait, pause there. Isn't the goal to be efficient? How can you automate too much? I thought the solutionists wanted to use every tool available.
Not blindly. If you automate everything, you might automate away your competitive advantage. Think about it. If you use the same AI tools as everyone else to do the exact same work, you become a commodity.
You're generic.
You're generic.
Oh, I see. So if everyone uses the same AI to write their marketing copy, all marketing copy just sounds the same. It's the Beigeification of the internet.
Exactly. You reach a point of average instantly, but you lose the exceptional. The solutionist knows what to automate, the drudgery, the data processing, and crucially, what not to automate.
Like the relationships, the high-level strategy, the unique voice.
That's it.
So discernment becomes more important than raw production.
That is the key word, discernment.
Okay, so let's double down on that. If the machine is doing the heavy lifting, generating the text, the code, the images, what is left for the humans? What are the solution skills we really need to cultivate?
The book is very clear on this. It moves away from hard skills like, syntax or calculation, and it emphasizes contextual understanding.
Contextual understanding. Can we make that concrete? Give me an example of where a human beats the machine on context.
Sure. Imagine an AI generates a legal contract. It's perfect legally, grammatically correct, cites the right precedents.
Okay.
But it doesn't know that the two parties signing it have a 20-year antagonistic history, and that a specific clause, while legal, will cause a complete breakdown in trust.
A human knows that context. A human knows the feeling in the room.
Exactly. The AI is the technician, but the human is the diplomat.
Or the conductor.
The conductor. That's good. They list specific complementary skills: critical thinking, systems literacy, ethical judgment, and creative problem solving.
Systems literacy is a big one.
It's huge. Understanding how the pieces fit together rather than just knowing how to make one piece.
It's moving from being a bricklayer to being an architect.
Yes. You work with the machine rather than competing against it. You become the editor of the world, not just the creator of content.
This really changes how we have to think about education, too. I mean, if you're a parent right now and you're telling your kid, just memorize these facts, get an A, and become a junior analyst, you're basically setting them up for a world that won't exist by the time they graduate.
The privilege apocalypse hits education harder than anywhere else. The book suggests we need to stop focusing on just studying hard for fixed roles. The very idea of a fixed role, I am a lawyer, I am a doctor, is becoming fluid.
So what's the alternative?
We should be teaching young people to build portfolios of projects.
Portfolios over grades. That's a shift.
It's a massive shift. It's about evidence of capability. Show me what you've solved, not show me what you remembered.
So you teach your kid to view themselves as an adaptable problem solver. Not, I'm an accountant, but I am someone who solves financial complexity. And the tools I used to do that might change tomorrow.
Exactly. I solve financial complexity. Today I use an abacus. Tomorrow Excel. Next week an autonomous AI agent. The value is in the solving, not the tool. It's a freelancer mindset, even if you have a full-time job. It's all about agility.
And speaking of agility and, well, dealing with chaos, there's an interesting layer to this book regarding where it comes from. The authors and the publisher. This is all coming from a South African context.
And that is not just a geographical footnote. I think it's actually central to why this book resonates so much.
How so? Does the location change the advice? Usually tech books come out of Silicon Valley and they have this very specific, optimistic, everything is awesome gloss on them.
Right. And Silicon Valley often assumes a baseline of stability and infinite resources. But the South African context really amplifies the resilience aspect.
Okay.
South Africans are used to what some call overlapping crises. You have economic instability, social challenges, infrastructural issues. I mean, dealing with power outages is normal. Dealing with chaos is part of the daily DNA.
So they've been practicing for the apocalypse longer than the rest of us.
In a manner of speaking, yes. They're chaos natives. But the universal lesson they draw from that context is that you can't just patch things up. When you have deep inequality and massive dislocation, which AI is going to cause globally, you need to rewire sectors.
Rewire, that implies deep structural change, not just an update.
Exactly. You don't just put a Band-Aid on a broken system. You use the disruption to build something new. In the developing world, people often leapfrog technologies.
Like jumping straight to mobile banking because they never had traditional bank branches.
Precisely. Because the old infrastructure just wasn't there. We might all need to adopt that developing nation mindset now. We need to be frugal, resourceful, and ready to rewire everything.
I like that. It turns the chaos into a construction site. It's not just about surviving, it's about rebuilding better because the old way just fell down anyway.
And that brings us right back to the core message of the book. It's a call to action. It's not a neutral observation of, oh, look how interesting the future is. It's, what are you going to do?
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's look at that. The authors have this great line about living on the flip side of fear.
The flip side of fear is agency. It's acknowledging the disruption. We aren't ignoring the scary stuff, the privilege apocalypse, the unveiling, but we are refusing to surrender to helplessness.
It's remembering that AI is a tool. It's a hammer. It's a paintbrush. It's not a fate that is just happening to us.
Unless we let it be. If we sit back, it becomes fate. If we step up, it becomes a tool.
So here is the question we want to leave you with today. We talked about the unveiling. We talked about how AI is stripping away the tasks and the roles that we thought defined our value.
If the spreadsheet is gone, if the report writing is gone, if the basic coding is gone.
Exactly. If all of that is stripped away, what is the core human contribution that remains underneath? What is the thing that only you can do, the problem that only you can see? And are you ready to double down on that?
That is the question that defines a solutionist.
Think about that, and maybe check your bullshitometer while you're at it. Thanks for listening to The Deep Dive. We'll catch you next time.